So to start, I have a question for you. What is the main thing that you might ask yourself when thinking about AI and work? Well, a lot of conversations I'm in are often, will AI take my job? And I think that this is the wrong question to ask. I think that the right question to ask is rather, what happens when each and everyone here can become their own manager, can run their own company, can become a founder? And that's a much more powerful way of seeing it. The reason behind that is that AI is enabling each of us to actually build. We're not, it's not an inhibitor anymore, it's an enabler. So with AI, you can actually manage those teams of AI agents in order to produce work. And this is how today, for the first time in history, a single person can run an entire company as if there had 100 people in it. And I think that, interestingly enough, it shows that now, in order to build a company, what matters is not the building, but everything around the building. And the people that you might expect the least to become founders, run companies, and run teams will actually become the most successful to do it today. So for a little bit of background, I am an AI researcher. I've started 2 companies, and I come from a family that has nothing to do with that. I have a family with a sister that's a photographer, the other one that's English literature. My 2 parents are in arts, some are designers, and half of my family is in the movie industry. So when I told them that I was going to do engineering, it baffled them, to say the least. The conversations at the dinner tables weren't so much about innovation, equations, and engineering, but it was mostly about what is good, what feels good, what moves you, which as an engineer feels quite untangible. And with that happening, I've always kept this part of creativity in me in everything I've done. I went to Imperial College, did research in AI, and about 7 or 8 years ago, my thesis was, can AI generate art? Which a lot of my professors thought wasn't even worthy of a thesis because it definitely couldn't generate anything creative. Now, 7 or 8 years later, we can all see that AI generates not only music, art, video. Of course, it doesn't replicate fully what humans can do, but it is still very impressive. And after that, I went to MIT, and I was like, okay, well, I'm pretty good at engineering. I think I have good taste. I'm definitely going to start a company in the AI/creativity sector, which, as you can see, I'm doing compliance today, so didn't work as well as I thought it would. But a couple of things became very clear when building such a company, is that AI is an enabler of work, and the power behind it is not the work itself, is in enabling you to do judgment work, to actually have the vision in order to build a company around it. And as an analogy, I think that for the past hundreds of years, organization looked like you'd have a layer of junior analysts that were then managed by managers that were themselves managed by senior managers, etc. But today, AI agents are replacing that lower level of grunt work so that everyone has the ability of jumping a layer and of actually managing this team of AI agents in order to do the work. And this is not job loss, this is more of a promotion, as weird as it might sound. And when you think about it this way, there are 3 things that change entirely in building a company. The first one is that there's a desacralization of the focus that has been required in startups. The biggest bottlenecks of starting a company is oftentimes, if anyone here has started a company or has even listened to a podcast, will tell you, start very small, have a wedge, make sure that you know that wedge in and out, that this is the way for you to get into a company and then expand. But now, with everything that's going on, you actually can grow that wedge much faster than ever before. I'll give you a small example. So we're building AI agents for compliance. And for the longest time, we were told, just do a very small part of compliance. Be a data provider, automate KYC, AML, and whatnot. We actually came in and became their team. We were able to automate operations across the board. And that's what AI allows you to do, coming straight into your business and allows you to automate a much bigger portion of work instead of having to focus just on the minute part of it. The second one is that brands and creativity are actually becoming ever so important. In a day and age where everything is buildable, well, building something is not the moat anymore. Building something is just the starting line. And so if product is now extremely easy to build, how do you actually come out of it? And how do you make it so that your company is able to come out of this hundreds of companies building a similar product? And doing so is creating brand, is being able to be creative in ways that matter, whether that's with marketing, advertising, meeting people in the real life, and actually finding ways to make the company speak to people. In enterprise sales, you'll see that the best product rarely wins. What matters is the relationship you have with people, the perception that people have of your company and of your product. And so to my third point, one of the biggest things that's going to come out of this digital age and age of AI agents is actually coming back to human and human interactions. I think you'll see that in your inboxes today, you probably receive hundreds of AI-generated emails. And there is AI emails and AI bots and AI calls and AI LinkedIn DMs and AI everything. And so having the ability of actually getting back to the human touch is what will separate you from the rest. We've seen that scaling the unscalable is something that I've told my team to do over and over again, has been what created the most relationships for us and the most business. Whether that's conferences, dinners, meetups, or digital, like our real gifts sent to offices of people, that's what allows you to create relationships and actually creates brand value. I'll give you a small example that we've done recently. If I sent a cake to your office, would you respond? The answer is probably yes, at least more than an email. And so we thought about that and we're like, okay, well, if that's a way that we can actually have people respond because it's physical, how can we scale this unscalable thing of sending cakes to people? And we decided to generate images of the compliance officer's face on the cake and send 250 cakes to offices of banks across the US. We got 85% people responding to that. And so the ability of being creative and of finding unscalable things to grab people's attention is actually what will allow you to grow in this economy of AI. And I think in parallel of that, the last one is obviously you have to sell human to human. But the parallel track of that is agent to agent. And in order to scale a business correctly today, I do believe you need to have both of these tracks being able to be ran in parallel in order to correctly sell your product. To conclude, I think that today, the best companies aren't going to be the ones that have the best engineers. They're not going to be the ones that have the best data. They're going to be the ones that have the best brand, the best value proposition of the products, the best way to sell, the most creative way to sell, and the best distribution. And that the biggest quality you can have as someone managing teams of AI agents in this day and age is creativity and taste. Thank you very much.